Well, hey neighbors, and welcome to the Shed Shop. I'm here with a neighbor's saw named Mike, and we've had his 028 for a while. We put new crankshaft seals in it. We rebuilt the carburetor, and the problem is Mike's saw is giving blowback. Now, I do believe there's an air leak behind the carburetor, and we've ordered some new parts, but I just want to make sure. I got to thinking back, and I'm always processing through, what have I done wrong? Was I tired when I did this part of the job? Was I busy? Did I have stress? I'm always thinking human error first. I don't want to blame anybody but myself first, I guess. I don't know. It doesn't always work that way, but with the saw, I got to thinking maybe, just maybe, one of my seals is crooked, and I'm not presenting air leak, but when I run the saw, it's sucking air. And that's causing blowback. And so I decided I want to go ahead and redeem my saw, at least partially, and that means tear it back down. And right now, my main thing is I want to expose this clutch side crankshaft seal, because I want to start the saw up and spray brake fluid here, and see if there is see if the saw dies when I spray brake fluid. And so basically, I just thought you guys could hang out, because if you're having blowback with your chainsaw, whoops, maybe this will help you. Okay, neighbors, I got to get that retaining washer. Those are about $4 plus a few dollars freight, so you don't want to lose that. All right, neighbors, now we're going to have 4 T27 screws. I am disassembling with my impacts sometimes, and the reason being is because I figure if I keep the nice Milwaukee clean, I won't have to clean it as much. And so disassembly with the impact, reassembly with the Milwaukee drill is what I've decided from here on out. I think I've grabbed the wrong bit. I did. This one is broken. I still use it sometimes, though, in a pinch. We got 5 T27 head screws for our dust cover here. I missed my good magnetic bit. Okay, neighbors. Now we're going to have a retaining clip here. And for some reason on Mike's, if I remember right, my retainers don't fit it. Every other 028 I have, they do yet, so they don't fit it. So his saw was not a good neighbor in that aspect. I'm going to have to get special pliers for when I have smaller retaining clips. I'll have to buy another set. And so for Mike's, we did have to work this off manually, which is kind of a bummer. I'm trying to remember if these fit or not. I don't believe they did. They do not. I think maybe I can just take it off like this. We'll see. I can't remember what's the process here. I don't think I can, because there's a gear. Yeah, I think I have no choice. I'm just very discouraged about taking this clip off. I remember it was not easy. But it can be done without the pliers, the special pliers. It's just not easy. It just takes patience, unfortunately, little bits at a time. Ow. That's why I don't like doing it, neighbors. Okay, neighbors, you just got to be careful with it, because if you bend it too much, it won't reinstall. And so what I'll do is I'll end up taking this, hopefully, while I have it off, up to the Tractor Supply and finding the right pliers. See, because this set I have has all kinds of ends on it, but I do not have one with tips that tiny, which kind of surprises me, because this is supposed to work for all Stihl chainsaws. Okay, neighbors, now we can take our dust cover off, hopefully. There we go. Okay, Mike's saw has spit a lot of dirt at us. Oh no, we never did redeem this saw, that's right. Okay, so basically, I'm just trying to get down to a point that is, you have to be very careful working this gear off. You can break them very easily. Just be careful, take your time. There we go. Okay, so basically, I am going to remove the clutch too. I wouldn't recommend running a saw very long with all these components off, but sometimes this is the only way you can figure out what's going on, because you don't want to keep just replacing parts and tearing a saw down and putting it back together. It's really certainly not good for it. Okay, neighbors, so now I've got to get the clutch off. In order to do so, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to go ahead and take my, let's see, I don't love taking spark plugs out, but we'll just put a new one in it, especially the 028s, they strip really bad. I think I'll try my impact one time and see if it loosens, it pops loose without anything. It did. I don't like spinning the motor by hand very much if I don't have to. Okay, clutch comes off, and then we've got this little dust cover washer here. I think it's called, or what it's used for. It doesn't want to give me its washer. Okay, I'm looking at Mike's oil gasket. It does look like it leaks. And so I'm looking at this seal, and I may have done neighbor Mike dirty. It is concave just a tiny bit, but it's sealed and it's not leaking air when we, at least when we, my goodness, I can't speak, neighbors. It's not leaking air when we vacuum pressure test it. So basically, I'm just going to put the air filter on, and then I'm going to start his saw, and I'm going to spray air brake parts cleaner around the crankshaft seal, and I'm going to see if it stalls or not. So we want to wear safety glasses when we do this, and I'll go ahead and I'll let you guys join in on my struggles. Why? Because I just want people to feel love, goddammit, and I'm going to give shit away on this channel too. Okay, so I believe I left Mike's saw without fuel in it. I might have to get fuel, neighbors. I can't remember. Can't remember, neighbors. So sorry, neighbors. Yep, Mike does need fuel. I'll pause you, neighbors. Okay, neighbors, I'm so sorry if the camera's backwards. I flipped you around. I found a setting at one point that allowed me to not have it mirror, to do it directly. And now I can't find it again, and I noticed things are backwards. But basically, I've just put a little bit of fuel in it, enough for it should be able to start. And I'm going to let it set for a minute with the cap tight here as I explain to you what I'm doing. That will allow the pressure in the tank to equalize, so I don't have to pull as much cord, because the saw hasn't been started in a couple weeks. I've exposed my new crankshaft seal, and I've taken my top cover off so that I can hopefully spray behind the flywheel, because I'm getting like what almost seems like a certain reading that the intake boot, where it connects to the carburetor, it's sucking in the brake fluid from there. But it's so hard to tell, neighbors. It's so hard to tell because it's so close to the back of the venturi as well. And so I figure I just want to eliminate the possibility of my crankshaft seals leaking. And if they are, then we'll install new ones. And our neighbor's not going to pay for that, because we installed them, and if we did them dirty by installing them wrong, well, guess what? We can't charge him for our extra labor and our extra work and our extra parts. That's not his fault we did them dirty. It's our human error. He shouldn't have to pay for our human error. I'm getting tired of paying for people's human errors. That's why I'm poor. Okay, we got to pop our first pull, neighbors. Well, we had a pop. Okay, neighbors, the thing is that I'm not showing leak. It's hard to tell on the flywheel one. I'm not showing leak. And I know it sounds like his saw is running good. It's not. It spat all kinds of fuel out of the system here. So it makes me wonder about that. And so essentially, I'm pretty sure I measured ring gap on Mike's saw. I'm trying to recollect. He does have a bad bar and chain. It really needs work. And the saw came in presenting air leak. I'm also looking at his oiling system, and it looks okay. So my only I think at this point my only option is I've got to go ahead and take this saw all the way back down and verify the ring gap, which I don't have a problem doing. Once it cools off, I'll do that. And then I'm going to replace the intake boot. I'm going to clean the saw up real good. I'm going to leave these crankshaft seals in for now. I'm going to replace the intake boot. And then I'm going to put this saw back together with all of that left off. And I'm going to see if the problem still presents. The problem is, as you can hear, the saw wants to run away. And so that means that high RPMs, it's starting to suck air somewhere and it can't get tuned in right. But that might be his carburetor. And if it's his carburetor, unfortunately, then I got to say, hey, neighbor Mike, you know, this is the case. I can't afford to put a new carburetor on this. But we'll see what he wants to do if that's the case. I really feel like it's leaking back here. And a lot of people will say that won't cause blowback. But neighbors, I've checked everything on this saw. I know I measured his bore. I know I did. I did a video on it, I believe. And I know I checked his ring gap. I don't have the greatest memory. I need to take notes better. Hopefully when I get in a bigger building, I'll be able to get better organized. But that's if I get in a bigger building. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm so sorry that the camera goes... I've changed that setting a million times and it keeps going back to it. So I'm so sorry, neighbors. But that's going to be it. This has been Neighbor Mike's. We're trying to diagnose the air leak with brake parts cleaner, essentially. And we can't find it. I'm going to show you guys one more thing. I'm so sorry. That's not going to be it. I'm going to show you where I think it's leaking. I know I've explained it, but I'll just show you. because it's the only place that the saw dies when I soak it with parts cleaner, brake parts cleaner. And that is, neighbors, back here where your carburetor, back here where your carburetor sits against your body, your handle, right here, neighbors. We got another 028 here we're waiting on parts for neighbor Eric. And I think I pretty much have everything for this saw, so I'm hopefully going to be reassembling it very soon. Your intake boot goes through here, neighbors. Okay, from your engine, your intake boot comes in through here. Okay, and then your carburetor slides on these 2 bolts. Okay, neighbors, and I think it's leaking right back here, neighbors, because when I spray carb cleaner back there, or brake parts cleaner, that's when it leaks. And the only thing is, though, the venturi is exposed right here, and so it could be sucking in the fumes from there and dying, but it's not doing it here. It's not doing it. It's hard, again, it's hard to get to the flywheel part, but it does not appear to me that it's doing it. And I will get a little red thing on there and spray a little closer, but I don't think my crankshaft seals are bad. I don't think so. The saw is running very hot, though. Very, very hot. It's very hot for the little bit of time we ran it. Very hot. It shouldn't be that hot. It's very hot. So, that's going to be it for this one, neighbors. I'll let you know the conclusion of Mike's saw. Till next time, be kind. Everyone's facing a battle.